2. Ready doors. Ready up. Ready open. Ready doors. Ready closed. Ready shut. Ready face. Forward mark.
Is a video of the arrival of King Charles and Queen Camilla in the United States. It's such a beautiful sight to behold. Hello viewers, this is Worldview on Spectrum TV. My name is Emedion. In a carefully choreographed display of diplomacy, tradition and political symbolism, King Charles III and Queen Camilla have undertaken a high-profile visit to the United States, where they were received by President Donald Trump and the First Lady, Melania Trump. The visit comes at a special time when relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States continues to evolve amid shifting global dynamics, economic pressure and security concerns. Of course, if you've been following the news on Worldview, you can see that Donald Trump and UK Prime Minister had a little bit of fight because of the war in the Middle East. Let's take a look at some of Donald Trump's remarks about the UK.
Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there. I was very surprised with the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom, 2 weeks ago, I said, why don't you send some ships over? And he really didn't want to do it. I said, you don't want to do it. We've been with you. You're our oldest ally. And we spend a lot of money on, NATO and all of these things to protect you. I mean, we're protecting them. We're working with them on Ukraine. Ukraine's thousands of miles away.
Arriving in Washington, D.C., the British monarch was greeted with full ceremonial honors, reception steeped in tradition, reflecting not only the statue of the crown, but also the enduring diplomatic ties between the two nations. Military pageantry, formal introduction and symbolic gestures set the tone for what officials described as both a working visit and a reaffirmation of long-standing allies. Donald Trump took the center stage to deliver a welcome address, calling the day a British Day.
American patriots today can sing, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty," only because our colonial ancestors first sang, "God save the King." We see today a living symbol of this centuries-old bond, just a few dozen feet to the left where I stand. There, Her late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth, an incredible woman who I had the privilege of getting to know. Queen Elizabeth II, very, very special woman who is very greatly missed on both sides of that mighty Atlantic. Long ago planted a young tree. It was a very young and beautiful tree, and look at it now. It's tripled in size and tripled in strength, very much as our nations have even more than tripled. Like our nation itself, it was laid with British hands but grew in American soil. Today it stands tall and proud, reaching ever higher. And this morning it reminds us that the mightiest of trees, like the greatest of nations, must be anchored by the strongest and deepest of roots. In the centuries since we won our independence, Americans have had no closer friends than the British. We share that same root. We speak the same language. We hold the same values. And together our warriors have defended the same extraordinary civilization under twin banners of red, white, and
At the heart of the visit were closed-door discussions where King Charles and Donald Trump engaged on a range of issues, including transatlantic trade, defense cooperation, and global security challenges. Still at the White House, King Charles and Queen Camilla were at a state dinner hosted by President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. It was the first formal white tie event since President George W. Bush hosted Queen Elizabeth in 2007. At the toast remarks, the U.S. President held the close ties between the two nations.
we're doing something that's very special, preparing to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence. It's a big time in our country, very big time. And it's only natural that Americans begin this commemoration by paying tribute to the transcendent bond we share with the nation that Thomas Jefferson himself called our mother country. This unconquerable courage, this inexhaustible supply of ambition, ingenuity, and resolve. From the trenches of World War I to the beaches of Normandy, from the frozen hills of Korea to the scorching sands of North Africa and the Middle East. And we're doing a little Middle East work right now, too, if you might know. And we're doing very well. We have militarily defeated that particular opponent. And we're never going to let that opponent ever, Charles agrees with me, even more than I do, we're never going to let that opponent have a nuclear weapon. They know that, and they've known it. But our countries have stood together, defiant and triumphant against the forces of communism, fascism, and tyranny. Together we have expanded the reaches of human knowledge and endeavored always to make this world safer, more prosperous, more just, and more free. Ours is a treasured friendship, an eternal bond, and a true story of extraordinary heroism and skill. History has known no more powerful force than the combination of American patriotism and British pride.
Also at the same event, King Charles began by offering sympathies over a shooting Saturday during the White House correspondent dinner, before speaking about the centuries of historic bonds.
I also just start by paying tribute to your own courage and steadfastness, as well as to your security services, for their swift actions on Saturday evening in preventing further injury. My thoughts and sympathies are very much with you, the First Lady, and all those guests for whom this must have been a very upsetting incident. As the words of that famous anthem remind us, this is the land of the free and home of the brave, as your own response demonstrates. What used to be called in the last war in the United Kingdom, keep calm and carry on. On this occasion, I cannot help noticing the readjustments to the East Wing, Mr. President. As the direct descendant of King George III, I know this is a nation that never gives up. Indeed, you recently commented, Mr. President, that if it were not for the United States, European countries would be speaking German. Dare I say that if it wasn't for us, you'd be speaking French.
Also speaking, Charles addressed a joint meeting of Congress, marking the second time a British monarch had done so. He was warmly welcomed in the chamber, and while much of his speech focused on the kinship between the US and the UK, he also pushed back on several issues that Trump has spurred with Britain over in recent months.
Times of great uncertainty, in times of conflict from Europe to the Middle East, which pose immense challenges for the international community and whose impact is felt in communities the length and breadth of our own countries. We meet too in the aftermath of the incident not far from this great building that sought to harm the leadership of your nation and to foment wider fear and discord. Let me say with unshakable resolve, such acts of violence will never succeed. Whatever our differences, whatever disagreements we may have, we stand united in our commitment to uphold democracy, to protect all our people from harm, and to salute the courage of those who daily risk their lives in the service of our countries. The story of the United Kingdom and the United States is at its heart a story of reconciliation, renewal, and remarkable partnership. From the bitter divisions of 250 years ago, we forged a friendship that has grown into one of the most consequential alliances in human history. I pray with all my heart that our alliance will continue to defend our shared values with our partners in Europe and the Commonwealth and across the world.
Alongside the formal talks, Queen Camilla and Melania Trump led a series of cultural and social engagement. The itinerary included a visit to historic institutions and community-based initiatives, underscoring the role of cultural diplomacy in strengthening bilateral relations. These appearances, though less politically charged, are seen as vital in shaping public perception and reinforcing shared values. A state banquet held in honor of the royal visit brought together an era of political leaders, diplomats, and influential figures. In his address, King Charles emphasized unity and cooperation, highlighting the importance of collective action in addressing global challenges ranging from climate change to geopolitical instability.
For peace in the world is more critical than ever. I can only turn to Shakespeare's genius to remind us of the plea for peace spoken by the Duke of Burgundy at the conclusion of Henry V. My speech entreats that I may know why gentle peace should not bless us with her former qualities. Thank you, Mr. President and Mrs. Trump, for your splendid dinner this evening, which, may I say, is a very considerable improvement on the Boston Tea Party. So, past, the present, and the future, thank you, of our two proud and allied nations. To the United States and the United Kingdom, God bless both our countries.
Thank you very much.
As the royal delegation concludes its visit, the message from both sides appears clear that despite political changes and differing priorities, the relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States remains a cornerstone of global diplomacy. Of course, that's a lovely report of the King Charles and Queen Camilla's visit to the United States. For now, this visit serves as a reminder that in international relations, symbolism and substance often move hand in hand, shaping not just policy, but perception at the world stage.